Hello, thank you for coming by. Tory Magoo 44. Today is the 12th of August. I'm here with Mr. Anonymous. Here he is. Woohoo! He's my buddy from Norway for anybody new that hasn't been here. And for anyone new that hasn't been here, I was in Scientology for 30 years and escaped out. And it's all, if you just type in Tory Magoo 44 + escape, I made a 10-part series after being out for 10 years because so many people asked me about it. So I just made a long series on it that it really explains how I got in, what happened, how I woke up, how I got out, and how I escaped out. And I did, and they chased me across the country. So that's just a little bit of that. Please subscribe if you haven't. And what I'm doing this summer is just kind of a condensed version of let's see, what would we... It's more like the traps, Scientology's traps. Like they have many, many different traps, but they're usually covered with chocolate and whipped cream and things like that, so they don't really look like a trap. And because most of us like chocolate and whipped cream and things like that, it's kind of like, maybe it won't be so bad for me. But the truth is, it is bad for you. It's bad for everyone. And unfortunately, I still have some friends that are in, and I hope and I pray every day that they wake up, that they look at both sides. It's one of the biggest traps of all, which I've already talked about, which is, just listen to us, don't look at both sides, right? It's a huge trap because this is true for a life lesson. If you don't learn to look at both sides, you can never know the truth. You have to look at both sides, and then you can weigh and balance and see what's true, what isn't true, what's right, what isn't right, that kind of thing, and learn from it and make up your own mind, not their mind, your mind, because what they do is they make up your mind for you. So this is trap number 5, and this has to do with, in my opinion, it was one of the worst things for me. It's medical abuse. And they will say they don't have any medical abuse, just like they're a religion they believe in, and all religions. Well, they're not a religion. They don't believe in all religions. And as you get higher up the triangle, you learn that. But you don't learn it way in the beginning. And a lot of people get in from other religions thinking, oh, okay, they're non-denominational. No, they're not. And it's not a religion. It's 100% a business because you have to pay for every single thing, every step of the way, unless you slave for them in the Sea Organization. And if you're in the Sea Organization and you want to get out, you can today. You just have to open the door and walk out. There's nothing they can do. The only person keeping you in the Sea Org is you. That's true. The only person keeping you in Scientology is you. You have to buy what they're saying, and yes, they may be saying things that keep you thinking you need to, but the truth is you have to buy it. Just like any con, you have to buy it. You have to agree to it. And if you don't, if you just open up the door and walk out, you're going to be shocked. It's like, really? That's all there was to it? Because they make it into such a big deal. But getting back to medical abuse, for me, as an example, I have epilepsy. I take medication for it. It's always been controlled. I've never had a problem with it. No one ever knows that I have it, except when I got in Scientology. And they said, oh, I joined the Sea Org, and they routed me to someone and said, oh, no, you can't take medicine in the Sea Organization. And they took me off my medicine, and I've written many, many videos about this. But the point I'm making on this for everyone is a lot of people get into Scientology thinking, oh, they can help me with this or that or whatever. And they'll say, yeah, there's a really good chance we can. They used to say we can and we will, but I think they got sued a few times. So now they say there's a really good chance that we can help you, right? But if you really look on the internet and listen to the personal stories, especially ones with medical conditions, do not follow Scientology, because their thing is, Hubbard said, a clear has a perfect memory, a perfect IQ, no somatics, and no pains. Really? Have you ever, and I ask any Scientologist, have you ever seen anyone like that? Well, the definition has changed. Well, that's a little hokey. I mean, that's sort of like, well, we're going to serve you hamburgers, but we really don't have all the meat for the hamburgers, so it's going to be a little different than a hamburger, but we are putting these hot dogs in it, and they're pretty good. And we call it a hamburger. It's like a hamburger. It's different, but it's like, it isn't. And it's the same for Scientology with they saying their auditing will fix you. And all I say is go to your doctor, go to a doctor that isn't a Scientology doctor, and get help. And make sure that you follow what your doctor says. Because they really are good at convincing people, oh, no, that's this, that's that, you don't need it, blah, blah, blah. Not necessarily the staff, because they'll get sued, but they get the public to kind of run it on you. That's how it happened to me. It was just like tons of people were constant. I've had ex-Scientologists call me up and say, you're not still taking that medication, are you? And I'm like, are you serious? I fought these guys for 30 years on this. I ended up getting the entire flag land base crammed on it, corrected, because they were wrong on it. And I'm sure it's probably vanished since then, but they did write a Senior CS International Bulletin saying if your doctor says it's okay to get auditing on medication, it's okay, period. And they all at Flag got corrected on that. But whether they still apply it today or not is a whole nother thing. They're doing all kinds of different things that they used to not do. Why? Because they're doing that's them, the really evil people that say that. And here we are, the really great people. And I say to all of you, here's the dividing line. If they stop all their abuses, you won't be seeing me making videos. But that includes breaking up families, stopping free speech, practicing fair game on people where Hubbard said you can lie, cheat, steal, destroy someone utterly. That's L. Ron Hubbard. That's what he wrote. Now, yes, he wrote a cancellation to it, but at the bottom it says this does not apply to suppressive people, which are the only people that they apply fair game to. So go figure. But those also roping young kids into a billion-year contract and then charging them because they wanted to leave thousands of dollars and medical abuse. There's a bunch of very key abuses that they still do. And until they stop those, people like me are going to be speaking out. And I told David Miscavige that in 2000, and it's 2008, and here I am. It's 2018. I know. Okay, whatever. I made a mistake. I've sat with them when people do stuff like this, and I'm like, look, see, they made a mistake. Like they never make a mistake. Yes, they make mistakes. They make big mistakes. And they will not take responsibility for it. They talk about responsibility all the time. You need to be more responsible. That was their thing with me. No, I have a medical condition. That's what my mother said. She said, Tory, they're going to kill you. These people are going to kill you. This isn't a psychosomatic illness. It's a medical condition. And it's true for anybody else. If you have diabetes, that's a medical condition. If you have autism, that's a medical condition. If you're depressed, that's a medical condition. You have a right. And for any of these things where you're not quite on par with everybody else, you have a right to see a doctor, to get medicine that'll help you, or get therapy if that'll help you. Whatever you need to be feeling good every day, you should be able to do, and you can. And because a cult is saying you can't, bullshit. Walk out the door. I always say it all the time. Use L. Ron Hubbard's final PL. His final policy was the way out. He used to always say the way out is the way through, right? And that kind of sticks people in it. It's like you got to keep on going, right? But what did he do? The way out is the nearest door. He took it. Why not you? That's what I say. And I hope someone inside hears it and opens up a door and walks out tonight. It's your right. Anyway, that's abuse number 5. I love you guys, and I hope and pray you're having a wonderful summer. All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.